Hello, listeners. Editing Panda here. A quick disclaimer about this episode of The Warrior's Apprentice by Lois McMaster Bujold. We really did try to keep the beginning of this episode spoiler-free, but we were not very successful. So here's your warning. The beginning of the episode until the spoiler warning mark does contain some light spoilers for the book. Our apologies. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Legendarium Green Team. I'm your host, Kyptan, and with me today we have Panda.
Hello.
Colonel Rabbit.
Hello, hello.
Seeker.
Hello.
And Little Red Book.
Hello.
Today we'll be discussing The Warrior's Apprentice, the second published book in the Vorkosigan saga, although the third we're covering here on the podcast. Technically the fifth book in the series' internal chronology, this 1986 novel starts the tale of Miles Vorkosigan, who becomes the protagonist of the majority of the Vorkosigan series. At 372 pages in paperback, it's a fairly fast read, and its thriller-like pacing means I ran through it in only a couple days. Panelists, how did you feel? Did this make you more excited for the series? Talking to our newbies for that one.
For me, absolutely.
Seeker, was this your first time reading The Warrior's Apprentice, or did you read it already before?
Well, technically, yes, although I didn't remember it.
High praise.
I read a lot of the Vorkosigans like 10 years ago and never went back to Lois McMaster Bujold. It just stayed in my has read file.
Okay.
There's something about her writing style, especially in the Vorkosigans so far, that just has a hard time grabbing me. But I liked this book a lot better than the previous ones.
Okay. I have something to say.
Please say something.
I'm curious. How do you guys think I found this book?
Well, we're spoiled because we saw you react in chat.
Yeah. Just your chat reaction in this Discord.
You're like, I didn't know it was going to be this kind of book.
Yeah. So, what do you think my rating of it would be? I'm curious.
4.
Yeah, 4, 8 out of 10.
This is the perfect book for me. It's a 5.
That makes
Ooh.
because you like Fast and Furious. Because this is a very much a silly action movie / heist / con job.
I will say that I also rated it higher this read through than I had in the past, apparently.
You guys know how I feel about competent characters. Like that's my kryptonite, okay? Competent characters and like found family.
Right.
Okay.
So
okay.
This is the best book I've read this year so far.
Wow.
Nice.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Me too.
I'm glad that you love the book. I'd rate it a 4 out of 5. But I am curious as to your description of Miles as competent.
Fair enough.
I'd call him many things, but
You don't think he's competent?
Oh, come
I
on.
think
The word
he's-
hyper-competent was
Okay.
made for him.
he's extremely smart.
Mhm.
He's extremely good at organizing, observing, and managing information.
Uh-huh.
But
And people.
he is driven.
Yep.
He's driven by a massive inferiority complex.
That's
Everything
fine.
and then once
That
that
doesn't have a bearing on
causes him-
competence.
Right. I agree
that
with Kat.
causes him to enter into situations that he should not get involved in at all, and then create Ponzi schemes to try to keep them going till he can find a way out.
Yep. But he's very competent.
And
He's lucky enough that things work out the way they do.
Yes.
He's so
but
quick
how
on
many
his
people
feet.
could have done that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no. I agree there, which is why I started my criticism by acknowledging how smart he is.
Okay,
He's
so he's got
extremely smart. He's just
so he has an
he's also
aggressive
very dumb.
profile for risk.
It's like, why?
Like all great
My-
entrepreneurs.
Okay, this whole crisis begins.
Okay, we're
Because
still
he
in
decides-
non-spoilers.
Okay, I'll keep it non-spoilery. Because he decides he's going to defuse a situation that has nothing to do with him in the hopes it will impress a girl who doesn't like him that way.
Okay. I do have to say that this is a younger character. And not like, preteen or young, but like he's 17.
He's 17. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, being 17, hormonally driven stupidity is forgivable.
By the way, this is the main problem I have with the book is he is 17. And you really have to suspend disbelief.
I will agree with you there. I will agree with you because, like, as I'm reading this, especially because we do just get his POV and we get his internal monologue, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, this is like kind of mature for a 17-year-old, and I have to keep.
He doesn't look 17.
Well, that too.
No, but his internal monologue is not 17.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's just a precocious 17-year-old. It's fine.
Sure. No, it's not 17.
But I think I give it a pass mostly because of who his parents are and the environment that he grew up in.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's very much influenced by Cordelia and Errol.
Well,
And
boy was breaking bones every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel their influence in his personality.
Yeah.
In different ways.
And he's
sure.
obviously been trained in government politics and stuff. And
Right.
At least
what I
observed
found
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What I find most believable for the 17 part is the way he keeps kicking himself every time he hasn't thought of something that ends up smacking him in the face. And that is just so typical of what I remember from that age. It's like
so typical of
absolutely
what I
sure I thought
remember
of
from now.
everything and then feeling horrible when I realize I forgot something important.
Oh, wait.
Right.
Payroll?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. I'm very okay giving young people who grew up in extreme positions of power accelerated maturity.
That's fair.
And he grew up a couple steps away from the Barryaran throne.
Yeah.
And also, notably, in society that overvalues physical strength and competency, and so he had to overcompensate that with mental
Right, which gives him
strength and
his
maturity.
massive chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it also makes him much more competent at solving problems with his mind.
It also makes him comedic.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and for some reason I don't understand, willing to he just does stuff that if he's thought for 1 second clearly would know was a bad idea and would probably get his bones broken. Yet he does it anyways because he hopes it'll turn out okay.
Yeah. But that's a little different.
That's part of being 17.
Yeah.
He's also kind of learned that when he gets his bones broken, he comes back stronger. He doesn't have to worry about breaking those bones again because now they're synthetic.
Well, no, he's not getting synthetics yet because he might still be growing.
No, he is. They
Yes,
just won't preemptively put in all synthetics.
I may have missed that part, but
When we get to spoilers, we can go over that again.
Some of his bones are synthetic. Some of them they're delaying in case that, his leg bones, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They will only put in the synthetics when necessary, as opposed to him who wants it electively.
It seems to me they could put in some kind of adjustable length synthetic bones for his legs so that they can gradually stretch his muscles and make him taller.
Much more difficult technology there.
Maybe on Beta Colony they do it that way.
Point.
I do wonder how much of Barryar's import budget is Miles' medical system.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. I mean, and it's basically been that way from the beginning.
Yes. I did like all the callbacks.
So I would like to say about the opening of the book, that scene where he's standing at the top of the wall and he's going through all his options and he decides to jump. And then his interaction with his grandfather afterwards is so heartbreaking to me because he was like, he doesn't want to, again, he's 17. He doesn't want to look bad by climbing down the wall like he should.
Well, he should have just skipped the whole thing.
Yeah, he shouldn't have even bothered climbing it. He should have just focused on the
run
things
around
he
it.
could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, the embarrassment and being 17 and not wanting to look bad kind of takes the heat out of my, why was he this stupid? He was 17. Oh, okay, that was it.
But
yeah,
definitely that part of the book felt the most like he was 17. Everything else just seemed to be him stumbling into
Forward momentum.
forward momentum,
Right.
forward momentum. Okay, so let's get our returners' thoughts about this book on record, and then we can dive into spoilers.
So my favorite thing about this book is it's a series of redemptions and Miles's ability to inspire people to become their best self. And also it's just a really fun heist action movie con job thing that's just crazy and weird, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely getting flashbacks to the Sting.
Yeah, I think Bujold's at her best when she's inside her characters' heads, and like I don't mean that just in terms of the point of view character, but like we as readers can almost always get insight into all of the supporting casts just by seeing their reactions to Miles, just by seeing how he thinks of them, and all the dry humor that goes along with that.
There is quite a bit of that. I think my favorite thing about this book, which gets into a question that we got asked about how do you feel about the shift in POV and tone compared to the earlier two books. I absolutely love the shift in POV and tone. I loved Cordelia and Errol, great, but Miles is this bit of Miles is hyper, and a hyper book can be a very fun book to read. A lot of my favorite science fiction is just hyper idea after hyper idea. And this does that, though not in the hard science fiction manner, but in the soft, personnel, character-focused manner. And that's a bit unusual, in my opinion.
No matter what you'll say about Miles, he does make things interesting.
Yeah.
When Balthazar says, "Welcome to my lord's employ," or something like that. Things are just
you mean Bothari?
more and more crazy.
I liked when Elena said, was asked, "You mean you couldn't tell?" And she said, "Not really."
When he was on the green
He's
stuff.
like this all the time.
Yeah.
Mayhew's just like freaked out at that point. So
Love him.
Poor Mayhew. Also, speaking of Mayhew, did any of you catch that this is not the first time he showed up?
No.
I don't remember him.
He was the cargo transport pilot that took Cordelia off Beta Planet.
Oh wait, really?
Oh.
God, really?
Yeah. So the Vorkosigans aren't done messing with Mayhew's life.
Oh boy.
I think I remembered that in Barriar or somewhere in Cordelia's honor, but I forgot about it today.
Yeah. Okay.
In Shards of Honor, when she's doing that frenetic escape sequence from Beta
with her
Colony.
slippers.
With her slippers. They reference pilot officer Mayhew is the one that she selects.
Oh.
Fun.
That's funny. Well, at least it didn't come back to bite him. He seems to have had a successful career until he became outdated.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
In my copy, there's a foreword. And in the foreword, the person, Douglas Muir or something, he says that, and you guys have said this too, that like you could start the series with this book. I have a rebuttal.
Okay.
I think that you wouldn't get as much of the emotional impact if you haven't read the two that we've already read. Like if I just went straight to this one, I don't think I would have enjoyed it nearly as much as I actually did, having read Shards of Honor and Barriar. And we can talk about why in the spoilers.
I mean, I completely agree. You don't get the setup on Bothari, on the Vor way of life. You don't get the setup on Barriar, on Beta Colony. Like there's
Yeah.
there's enough in this book so that you will get all the bare bones information that you need to understand every
The
plot point
entire
in this
drama
book.
with Elena's mom and Bothari
She
would not
spells it
make
out.
any sense.
No, she spells it out.
I mean,
but it would be
she
much
does.
less impactful.
Let's officially get into spoiler territory after this brief synopsis. Okay. The Warrior's Apprentice is the story of Miles Vorkosigan and his rejection from the Imperial Service Academy. He instead goes to Beta Colony and eventually hijacks multiple ships and recruits his own mercenary army. Through many events and some casualties, he comes to learn that he's being charged with high treason back on Barriar, barely manages to escape back to the planet, and rebuff the charges which carry a death sentence. Then he is admitted to the Imperial Service Academy because everyone has realized that he's better kept where you can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh man.
Now we can talk.
But just to respond to Panda's point is, yeah, I think we can all agree that it's definitely not the best starting point. The only reason we would recommend people starting on it ever would be because you can't sell them on the romancy side of Shards of Honor / Barrier.
I know plenty of people who have bounced off of Shards of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, I mean, okay, like the Shards of Honor, I have to say, like the writing there, like it's good, but not like great. And we already talked about why in that episode. But I do think that the time that you spend with Cordelia, and especially the perspective that you get about Errol from Cordelia, like you
It's almost
understand
a separate story.
Yeah.
you grow a fondness for them, for Errol, and you understand why Cordelia is so spunky and why, like, when Miles says to Vorhalis, whatever that guy, like Vorhalis, thank you. You're gonna have to say this to my mother, right? Like basically having her beg you for mercy, and like, are you actually gonna do that? And that line, like, it lands because you got to know Cordelia. And
Yep.
the way that Miles and Errol, how they interact, and why, like, Miles seeing Errol's like pride in him, why that lands so much more. Because you know, like, and also why, like, Miles's like concern and fear for Errol, it lands so much more because you have
Now-
gotten
Right. And
I completely agree with you, Panda. But I'm going to make a when I was trying to get my 16 or 17-year-old son into a fantasy series, any fantasy series, I didn't
Sure.
care. But the one that came up at the moment was Brandon Sanderson. I decided to start with Warbreaker.
Mhm.
Why? Because he was a 16, 17-year-old boy.
Uh-huh.
And I figured a talking sword would grab his attention. And it
Sure.
worked.
Fair.
You know? So sometimes you just have to choose the book that will act as the hook, even if it sacrifices nuance.
Miles
I
is the
get
talking
that.
sword.
God, that's all we need.
I'm on the same page. I would only recommend a Warrior's Apprentice to
A boy.
Mhm.
who will bounce off Shards of Honor, because it
Mhm.
is very much, I mean, it has some military stuff and whatnot, but it's very much a
Like, I
romance.
get that. I just
Mhm.
No,
you
I
know.
agree with you. You are totally
Yeah.
right.
No, and I agree with you
it's
too,
the
Panda. I'm
optimal
just
versus
saying,
the good enough.
yeah.
I know. Maybe they'll read it like when they're 16, and then 10 years later, when they've forgotten things, they start from Shards of Honor, and then they're like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Well, just as, it's been 5-ish years, and he has probably re-listened to all of the Sanderson books at least 3 times each.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I've had a hard time getting him really interested in anybody else. He, for some reason, just connected with Sanderson.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, at least he's got a lot to read.
I mean,
We'll
there is a
never
lot
know.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
Anyway.
of Vorkosigan that we're going to get through.
Mhm.
I am, 1/3 of the way to getting to a civil campaign. Is that what it is?
I believe
Mhm.
so. Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, I think you're about
So
a,
good.
you're about a
It's
quarter
like book
there.
9. It's like book 9 or book 10.
It depends how you count and how many prequels you do.
Oh gosh.
And really, who knows when we're going to be doing Falling Free? Who knows?
I mean, it's a great book, but
The way you two describe the sequences, it sounds almost as confusing as the Honor Harrington timeline, where you've got parallel timelines with different characters that intersect, and it's just like, holy cow.
I mean, as previously stated, this is the 5th chronological book in the series, yet the 2nd published.
And the 3rd we're reading.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. You know.
That's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the culture novels where there just is no order, or barely any.
Yeah, that's true.
But I appreciated my little bit that I think people would miss if they didn't read Shards of Honor and Barrayar, is that when Elena Bothari is trying to harden her soul and dehumanize the enemies, because that's what a real soldier does. I like how Miles brings up, my mother is a real soldier, and I don't think she ever did that.
Yeah. Yeah, that hits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that would not hit without the previous books.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I also think it's a common misconception of most soldiers. You know, I mean, I'm sure there are some who become monsters, but I don't think.
Well, yeah, she's a teen trying to imagine herself into being a soldier.
Right. Yeah, so it must not bother me. And it's like, yeah, tell that to the World War II vets.
Well, her father really isn't bothered, too. So she's her main example of a soldier.
Yeah,
that's true. She's using Bothari as her reference
really
point.
is bothered.
But he is a monster, too.
Well,
yeah, he's a psychopath.
Also, the other example she has is Errol, who's also very bothered, but also presents a very stoic face about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Though he says now that he's lost the trick.
It's hard to tell how much interaction she had with, I mean, even her own interaction with her dad was pretty limited. So it's hard to tell how much interaction she had with Errol.
Yeah, so it's very possible she has a very story-like imagination of how they respond and stuff. Because she's obviously never been in violence or actually seen it up close before, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But that just adds to what her image of soldiers being superpowered, emotionless machines.
Well, can we talk about then how even Miles, right? Like, he has been exposed to military whatever environments due to who his family is, but even he doesn't know all the things and have exposure to all the things yet. And so how he formulates it, what he thinks how he should act comes from, well, like a bit emulating his grandfather, his dad, but also the things that he sees on their version of television.
Right? That whole thing about like screaming when
running
you
and
enter the
screaming.
room was so
the
funny.
humor.
He makes a study of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, every time I got one of those, on TV they did this, I had Murderbot flashing in my head. Going
That's true. Yeah. And it's not just him, right? It's also the other people around him. And they're like, oh, we saw the same
any idea what they're doing.
Well, I mean, even when he's playing the Baba, he's like, I'm glad we've all watched the same dramatic.
Yeah. I miss the days when it was almost guaranteed we'd all seen the same shows.
Yeah.
That was many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the last real phenomenon was Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but even that, half the people I know never watched it.
the time of isolation is over.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel was the other big one.
My wife's currently watching The Last of Us, and I don't even know what it's about.
What's she watching?
The Last of Us.
It's a zombie movie, isn't it? Or
oh,
zombie.
It's so good.
Season
That's
2
TV
just
show.
ended.
Yes, it is so good.
That's what they say, and I'm like, okay.
You
very
should
good.
watch it.
Squid Games? You should watch Squid Game.
there's so much content.
Yeah, what just came out? Wednesday just came out, season 2.
Now that I'm watching.
Like today.
Probably, hopefully with my granddaughter. She absolutely
Aw.
loved the first season.
That's so cute.
I'm now imagining Wednesday at the Barry Yarn Imperial Service Academy.
With or
God.
without Miles.
She would slay.
I mean, yeah, she would slay, and that's going to be a problem. She's gonna overrule the Council of Counts and throw a revolution.
Yeah, she'd
God.
go all Cordelia in the pretendership on them.
I wonder if the Barry Yarn Academy has a tradition of practical jokes. I'm just imagining Miles.
I mean, it's
going
all male,
way
of course
overboard.
it does.
Yeah, there's almost certainly going to be like hazing rituals.
It's an all-male
just
military
imagining,
academy. There's no way.
A Miles hazing, hazing somebody or getting somebody back and going so far overboard it gets called in before it does.
It would.
I did like the part where they all have armbands for all the times they've been wounded and killed, and Miles doesn't have any.
Yeah.
And like him dealing with the last test, like he understands why his partner is so frustrated.
Right.
And he's like, okay, I'm going to have to deal with this. We're trying to deal with the class thing and all that kind of stuff. And he just does not push. Like, even when he sees the other person make a mistake, he's like, I'm not going to push it. We'll see how things go.
But he also never apologizes for existing.
Right.
He's like, I acknowledge you have a right to your beef, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to make way for you just because of history.
I'm going to disagree pretty strongly with that there, especially in his periods of catatonia and withdrawal, where he feels like a waste of space, useless, and wants to kill himself.
But that's internal as opposed to...
Yeah, that's depression. That's not socially, acknowledging his privilege, as they say.
I do agree, understand what Kyp's saying, though.
Yeah, but he is acknowledging his disability as
absolutely.
thing that should have prevented him from living.
Yes, that yes.
And his dark periods, honestly, were some of the moments that I'd forgotten were in this earlier book. I thought they were saved for later.
Which means
so
there's
we have
more
dark
later
moments to look forward to.
Miles is a very raw person emotionally. Like, all of his emotions are just
out there. Yeah.
But he's not cringe. He's not like, angsty and annoying in the way that a lot of YA characters, like younger teen characters, would be. So
I agree.
He's pretty cringe. He's pretty angsty. He just has the charisma to not make you not annoyed by it.
That is exactly the deal.
I do.
Fair.
I agree. And I do really love his internal dialogue when he's so jealous of Elena.
Yeah.
And he just is like, and his war with, like, she promised him and like female empowerment. And also, I have the authority in my society to actually tell her she can't marry the man she loves.
Right.
And that whole conversation where she's like, I just have a little bucket of honor and you have a huge bucket of honor. Please don't jostle mine. Like, that was a paraphrase, but that was one of my favorite lines where she's just like, look, I'm basically a peon. And also the fact that he acknowledges to himself why she will never want to go back to Perriar.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be a woman unless I was Cordelia.
But not why she would never love him.
Well, she could never love him the way he wanted her to. She was He was a brother, not a romantic.
No, but as she described, he has such gravity around him that you can't. Someone like her could never escape his pull if she decided to fall into that gravity well.
Disappear.
Yep.
Although I don't think that's true of her character, but she thought that.
I also just don't understand that reasoning.
Miles would have to run away from Barrier for an alternate solution. Miles would have to completely divest himself of his bloodline for them to have a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as she said, and if one day the Emperor calls, what would you do? And that's when he realized, his first loyalty is to the Imperium.
We see this with Cordelia, right, in the previous books where she is like getting into the core and really understanding like how important Errol is and how loyal he is to his world, his government, and she's just has a way to deal with it, right? She's found some sort of balance, whereas Elena, she's not Cordelia.
It is a lovely bit of mirroring. I think the key idea for me is Cordelia already knew who she was. Elena's
True.
trying to learn who she is.
Right.
Because she's 18.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Elena also associates whatever she imagines about her father as part of the Barryaran culture, because so in a very real sense, her worst fears about her father and Barryar are all jumbled together in a way she hasn't sorted out yet.
That's fair. Yeah. She needs to go on a soul searching journey. You know, that's her next arc, and then maybe she'll come back. I don't know.
But also, her father made her a combat expert, and she's not allowed to use that skill set on Barryaar at all.
Yep.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to follow in Drew's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Drew.
Which was really a small place, a small position that barely existed formally in Barryaran society, period.
I was surprised she didn't show up in this book.
Well, we're not on planet enough for her to show up.
But even when
in Miles' backstory.
Yeah. But I guess because we didn't get much of
Kudelka showed up.
Yeah, Kudelka did. So where was Drew?
He's a security guy.
Not drinking with the Admiral.
You could have reasonably expected Drew to have been some sort of aunt figure to Elena.
We get more Drew
Absolutely.
later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But
and actually,
not
it's
in this
very,
book.
very funny when she shows up.
Remember that Barryaar was actually written after this.
That's true.
So Drew
so she may not have actually
fully
existed.
fleshed out as a character. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a question from Lady Sweden. If you go on an adventure that puts you in mortal peril, who of the following would you choose to bring with you and why? Errol, Cordelia, Miles, or Bothari?
You have to pick one?
You got to pick one.
I mean, for me, it's got to be Errol or Cordelia. Depending on the kind of mortal peril, would decide which I pick.
Like old Errol or younger Errol?
Either. But I guess
old Cordelia or younger Cordelia.
Yeah. Since it's for this book, I think we can choose old.
My instant reply would be Bothari.
Me too.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
He likes boring.
Also, like Miles, it's like you end up with him. First off, okay, you're a follower.
I'm never picking Miles.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I know.
And then, who knows how deep of a mess he's going to get you into if he can get you out of it.
Miles will guarantee get you out of immortal peril. He will also guarantee get you into another mortal peril.
Exactly. And Cordelia? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Cordelia or her husband.
Errol.
Yeah.
Arlen.
Arlen. Well, at least it's not Belthamont or what.
I don't know. Who knows what I said?
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm picking Cordelia. She's also got those Baton genetics, so even old Cordelia is probably still pretty spry.
I think it's. I mean, Bothari mostly because that's the part that I'm the weakest at is the physical strength department and the agility department. But Cordelia kind of has a good balance.
Yeah,
she's definitely the all-arounder.
Cordelia will make sure that you don't need it.
Yeah.
But also, picking Bothari is you can pick him, but can you
control him?
Can you control him?
Can you make sure he stays mentally stable? Yeah. Well, but what I mean is you can control him, you can order him, but do you have that ability to keep him mentally stable enough for him to do his job?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Or is he going to kill the man who hits on his daughter?
Actually, I do want to talk about Bothari.
He didn't hit on her. They were canoodling.
They were nuzzling.
Nuzzling is hitting on someone. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
nuzzling
Well,
is
I mean,
nuzzling.
So it comes after.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a continual process. It's an
The only
imperfect
way
verb.
Miles got him to stop was by threatening to break his own fingers, trying to
Yeah.
pull his,
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
yeah. But
Yeah.
but Errol could have just snapped an order and he'd have done it.
True.
But that's a different
Exactly.
relationship.
Maybe.
No, I think he would have had, because what really triggered him is when he said armsman.
Mm-hmm.
Cordelia would have just stunned him.
Also,
Actually-
Cordelia could have
Yeah.
also gotten him to stand down as well.
Cordelia has many weapons, and a medical spray would have worked too.
Yes, but last time she tried that, she got a couple broken ribs. So.
Yeah, so she knows better this time. She'll
She's
take more
prepared.
evasive actions.
But I do want to talk about Bathari, and I'll just say, like, I cannot eloquently talk about him, but he is quite a tricky character.
Mhm.
Like, he is a psychopath.
Mhm.
And I guess this gets to, like, Lady Sweden's question about redemption
Yep.
in this
I
book.
think that was my question, wasn't it?
I think that was Red's question.
Oh, sorry. Red's
they got the
question
same
about
color.
redemption. And it's like, how do I say this? I think that he does get redeemed at the end, but it's also like, this is a character who is messy. It's not black and white, and it's every choice, every decision that he has to make. It's a challenging one. And
Mhm.
the people around him, right? So whether it's Cordelia, because I mean, we already talked about it in previous episodes, she recognizes that he is a monster.
And so does Errol.
Yeah, Errol knows him, but he also knows, like, how broken he is and what structure he needs in order to remain functional. And then Miles really sees him as this, like, fatherly figure.
Mhm.
And it's just
Kind of. I would say kind of.
I mean, yeah.
Father Lee leaves a lot of wiggle room, Red.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's fatherly almost in the sense that, oh God, I'm blanking again. Batman's butler.
He's Alfred.
Well, he's Alfred with extremely violent tendencies.
And without the erudition.
Fatherly includes being
I
the
would never have
protector.
thought to compare him to Alfred.
Protective.
Being the one that drags him out of danger, being the one that's going to tell him no when he's trying to do something dumb.
fair. So going
Yeah.
back to Panda's point.
But
Anyway.
he's also the butler in the sense that he keeps his room clean, tidies
Yes.
up after him, does all the, brings him his food, carries him home when
Yes.
he's drunk,
Right.
He's
Yeah.
the Batman. That's not the same as a butler. He's the
I
Batman.
think there's a strong
Well,
argument
that's
to
why I
be
said he's
made that
Alfred.
he was.
No. He's the
Batman as in the noun Batman, not
yes.
the character
The
Batman.
position Batman.
Oh,
Like, not the
okay.
superhero Batman.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I'm trying to think of the other valet. He's the valet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. He's a gentleman's gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without the gentleman part.
Oh, that was funny. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I lost my plot.
Batman.
Anyway, sorry. Complicated character.
Okay. I think there's a strong argument to be made that he got redeemed long before the events of this book. And the events of
Yes.
this book had very little,
I
if
agree.
anything, to do with them.
Mhm.
And if you
Okay.
believe in the Baton idea of
I
rehabilitation
think
and
Cordelia
redemption,
redeemed him.
Yes.
then
Yeah,
he's
I agree.
had his mental health therapy and
Mm.
he is living a life, that tries not to repeat the mistakes he made previously.
Ooh.
And how many of the mistakes that he made previously were actually his mistakes? And how
True.
many of them were direct commands by war criminals?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair.
But I
Mhm.
will say, I believe he got his personal redemption in
Yes.
this story, and the redemption of his victim as well.
Mhm.
Or
Oh yeah, he definitely
or-
he gave her what she needed knowingly.
Right.
Mhm.
And her cutting off her hair for the death offering.
Yeah.
That was helping her heal. But I'm not just talking about the Batman. How many characters are redeemed in this book? We have the deserter, we have
Mhm.
the pilot, we have
What did
In a
Art
lot of
do
ways-
wrong other than taking a spaceship hostage?
well no, but he didn't redeem him from sin, but he redeemed him and gave him a new purpose.
Possibly from
Yes.
alcoholism.
Well, that's true. Well, it was, yeah.
Well, you think he's not drinking anymore?
I don't know. I think Miles is
He's
drinking it all.
functional.
We saw him drunk once, and you're now deciding he's an alcoholic. Come on.
So those
Well, no,
two
it refers
ships,
to him having spent all his money on booze.
those two ships that he takes over at the very beginning of the them entering the space where they're delivering the weapons.
Mhm.
You know, Admiral Tongue or whatever his name is.
Mhm.
He calls them clowns, and he's
Tongue is later.
No. I'm not saying he's redeeming Tongue. I'm saying he's redeeming Tongue.
I'm saying Tongue is introduced as a character later.
Right, but
I think you're talking about a different captain.
Well, the clowns
When
are
they capture
that's
Tongue
awesome
ship,
and
he calls them clowns, and he's like
awesome and Thorn.
right. He redeems them. He turns them into better people. He's constantly making the people around him better people.
The dynamic duo of Awesome and Thorn could have captured themselves.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
That's when he redeems them.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know he's redeeming them until Thorn or Tongue shows up, but he does redeem them. He redeems many, many characters.
Well,
Yeah.
and calling back to inheriting from his parents, one of the things that Arl describes Cordelia is she pours out honor
Mm-hmm.
like a fountain, and Miles, just in his roundabout way, inherits that.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene. By the way, this is not about redemption, where he's talking to Tongue in the cell, and it comes out that he's actually talked to Vorkosigan because he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, this book is like the best book."
It was a personal conversation.
Yeah.
Wait, you've met him?
Yes. All the time, he's keeping under the radar. He's like, "I'm Miles Nesmith. I'm not Miles."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've heard. Yes.
Yes, Miles Naismith. Yes. Naismith, the name of Vorkosigan's wife.
She's not as famous.
And I love how
he's not off barrier.
Tongue is like, you've got a lot to learn. You've got a lot going for you. You've read
Vorkosigan.
The Vorkosigan book, but you still got a lot to
Yeah.
Well, he said you're a jumped up junior officer who's in over his head. And
But
Miles
a
is like,
genius for personnel.
Yeah.
Because you got Asan and a Thorn yoked to the same direction.
Right. Actually, can we talk about that scene though for a moment? Talk about like Bujold's writing, and she just has this way of being so captivating with her writing. I know Seeker apparently doesn't always work for you.
No, it doesn't.
But the scene where Miles is talking to Tongue and it goes from like this standoff, right? Because Tongue is his prisoner basically, and he doesn't trust Miles, and Miles is trying to establish and win him over and using all his charisma and his charm. But then it ends up being Miles like being charmed by Tongue because Tongue was there at Komar.
Mhm.
And there's this part where Tongue is like telling the story of him being a junior lieutenant on this fleet that Komar hired, and Miles didn't get this from his dad. And this paragraph says, Miles made encouraging noises and proceeded to pump this unexpected spring of reminiscence for all it was worth. Pieces of fruit became planets and satellites. Variously shaped protein bits became cruisers, couriers, smart bombs, and troop carriers. Defeated ships were eaten. The second bottle of wine introduced other well-known mercenary battles. Miles frankly hung on Tongue's words, self-conscious, forgotten. And I just thought that was such a fun way to showcase
That was
the
an
conversation.
awesome piece of writing.
Yeah. It was very visual and fun, and like it really sucks you in.
Yeah, I remember that bit.
Yeah, that was absolutely one of my favorite pieces of writing in the book.
She's got a knack for plain writing that is still evocative and understandable.
Yeah, she doesn't complicate things.
I have two favorite scenes. One is the one where he's recovering from his bleeding ulcer.
Uh-huh.
and Ivan shows up and he's like, why do I have to see relatives? Like that whole interaction with him and Ivan is so funny because Ivan is clearly, he keeps saying, and then there was this girl. There was this girl.
He might have even said there was this bird.
I don't think so because I just listened to it. But it's not that Ivan is unintelligent because he clearly remembers things. He's just but he's still an airhead, and that whole, like I said, that whole interaction and it's very funny, and it And then I want to say when he's talking to the Baba scene, where he's playing Baba for
Elena and Jessica.
Yes, and they're very funny, and you feel everything. You can see Miles putting the scarf on his head, talking about asking about whether he had lice or body odor or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like
and
so
it's a
good.
wonderful callback to
Cordelia,
when Miles' mom did it.
Yes, like mother, like son. Cordelia for Drew and Kudelka. Yeah,
100%. It is important to check your lovers for lice. And to have
well, I mean, I agree.
Any new person moving into your house should be checked for lice in the time of isolation.
Oh dear.
And I just checked the ebook, and Ivan refers to her as an old bird twice. And there are, in fact, 3 uses of the word. There are 5 uses of the word bird in this book, and 3 of them refer to women.
No, great.
How many are Ivan saying that?
2.
Because it's the pilot who brings him into the
motherly
older
pilot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
The insatiable.
Yeah, she's
The
he's very motherly, except
woman.
for the fact that
I love where he tries to pretend to Elena that everything was professional, and Elena's like, I saw the way she grabbed your butt.
Yeah.
Well, I like that Elena seems to have gotten her own because she talks about how Ivan was always trying to fill her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's a scene where he sees Elena is like all covering his private areas with his hands. So you get the feeling that he tried it again with her and she
got back.
Yeah.
She said no resoundly.
Ivan, or that idiot Ivan.
That idiot.
That idiot.
It took me 15 years to realize Ivan wasn't his middle name.
It took my second listen to catch that joke.
Wait, I missed it.
It was towards the beginning. Miles remarks that it took him like 10 years for him to realize that Ivan's name
that
wasn't
idiot
that
Ivan.
idiot
Oh
Ivan.
my god. Oh no.
Because of how Errol talks about him.
And Cordelia.
He's always that idiot Ivan.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
I like the part where Ivan says to Miles, I have to take this from your father and my mother, and I don't have to do that.
And then Miles is like, how do you have the Vorkosigan memory, but you can't put any of this stuff together?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he thought that he should go into intelligence, because he makes everybody around him stupider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recommended alien.
We also get the honorable mention of Ivan, you idiot.
It sounds like something that should be in a Hitchhiker's Guide, character. Walks into the room and everybody else's IQ drops.
There's an IT theory about bogons, which reminds me of that.
I don't know.
Anybody else familiar with the concept?
Don't quote any bogon poetry.
No. Bogons. They are responsible for computer malfunctions. Some people admit them. Some people absorb them.
Okay.
No, I don't know what this is.
No, never heard of that.
Familiar with that whole genre of IT jokes? Okay,
No.
I'm dated.
No.
Yeah. Maybe listeners will, but not me.
That's the IT version of Gremlins.
Yeah. It goes along with problem. Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Yeah. It's more IT
I
version of
see.
Cooties.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Some people are just bogon emitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You swear the system could not fail, but they walk into the room and it fails.
Yeah.
That's
I have met a couple people like that. It's like, just push this, this, and this. And I look over and I'm like, how the hell did you get it to do that?
No, they walk into the room and all of a sudden no Bluetooth connection works. They walk into the room. And all
I
of a
see.
sudden-
Yes.
Poor Ivan.
Okay. It's Ivan. It's Ivan, but for people. And apparently,
Right, no, I know.
And unless
assassination
you're Harry
plans.
Dresden.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I do have criticisms, so it's not all. Although they're criticisms potentially by other people and not necessarily by me.
Oh. Are you just parroting criticisms you don't feel?
No.
Don't do that.
No, that's not true. What I'm trying to say.
Don't be critical on behalf of other people.
No.
They can bring up their own.
That's fair. What I mean is, like, I could see how somebody could be critical. Not saying that I'm parroting somebody else, but it's like, for me, if I wanted to be really critical about it, okay, I would admit that there are some things, but I enjoyed this book so much that, like, that doesn't matter. And part of this book is that it lands very neatly. Like, yes, it's messy in the process, but it lands neatly. And it's a little too...
So
That
like
has
a
been
little
said.
bow at the end sort of thing? Like everything
Yeah, but it's
I
just
once-
like...
I once
go
made
ahead.
the mistake of reading Goodreads comments on several of my favorite fantasy and sci-fi series.
Yeah.
And one of the absolute guaranteed 1-star comments was, nobody's that lucky. Did you notice they just happened to have what they needed when they needed it?
Right.
Why is it the people they needed just happened to show up?
Right.
It's like, but that's what makes a good story.
Yes!
You know, Bilbo finds the ring at the right moment to make, it's like,
Right.
otherwise it wouldn't be a story.
Yes. No, that's actually what I meant in a nutshell, right? Like,
Okay.
I could see the criticism of, like, well, this is just too neat.
It's like Ivan
Miles-
should have died.
Well, yeah,
A bunch of times.
right. But you know what? I enjoyed this story a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, meh.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like the one thing that I really have an issue with as far as that sort of thing is Elena's mother happens to be on the planet. That's the only part where I'm like, that's
It's a little too
that was-
forced.
a little too much. But everything else, I'm just like, meh. I mean, John Wick killed how many people over his dog? And we all know he would have been dead like 5,000 times in that movie.
Yeah, and I love that movie. So
I
there
love
you go.
that movie.
But also, humans have this really weird tendency. Have any of you read the Black Widower novels by Asimov?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Okay,
No.
they're armchair detective novels where a bunch of dudes sitting around a table talk about a mystery and then the butler solves it.
Well, that sounds like
Oh, okay.
Asimov.
And he says the one story he got the most criticism for creating an unrealistic story
Uh-huh.
was actually based on real life events.
Ah.
That checks out.
He had an appointment. The mystery was, I had an appointment at this building. I went to this number of office, whatever, and the camera person was supposed to meet me there.
Mhm.
Later on, I found out they had also gone to that number of office or whatever, and we never met each other. How did it
Mhm.
happen? And it turned out they were on separate floors, but the same number of office, just the wrong
Oh.
floor. And and that actually happened to him. And then he decided, this would be fun to put in a Black Widower's mystery. And he said, I got the most flack from that story from people claiming it was unrealistic and could never happen.
It's
That's
like that
hilarious.
park ranger who got struck by lightning 7 times.
Oh, wow.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he survived 7 lightning strikes.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like if you survive 2, you're probably going to survive the next 5.
Mhm.
Right? It's
I
like
don't think lightning works that way.
Unless something falls on you.
I don't know about the science of that.
Like, my point being, like, if you survive the first one, there might be like serious damage caused that
Okay.
that makes the second one kill you. But if you survive 2, that implies there's some way you're somehow more resistant to lightning than the average person.
Yeah, your skin has a certain conductivity or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Maybe.
Or you don't generally wear metal.
I think the term is just so stories.
Mm.
Just so.
Yeah.
Apparently, on his 5th lightning strike, he tried to outrace the lightning storm in his car. He thought he finally had. He got out of his car and then got struck by lightning from a clear sky.
Why would you stay in the car, right? Because
he could see the lightning storm and it was over there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Also,
He thought he outran it.
Your car getting struck by lightning is generally safer than you getting struck by lightning.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because the tires are.
Yeah.
I mean, can cars get struck by lightning because the rubber is non-conductive?
That's what I was
They
going to
can.
say.
Okay.
They can and they have. I mean,
if
humans aren't
it
generally
can jump from the
conducting
sky to the ground, it
Yeah.
can jump a foot to the frame. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that poor guy.
Yeah, that poor guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
his Wikipedia article has a list of the strikes and which ones set his hair on fire.
Wait, is this like 7 consecutive, like all in one day?
No.
No. From
It's over a
space
of years.
1942 to 1977.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I
That's
feel like this
insane.
guy is already Mayhew getting struck by Vorkosigans.
But occasionally, exceedingly rare events pile up on top of each other, and you get fun stories.
Yeah.
Like a guy who's pathologically afraid of lightning storms and tries to run away from them.
I don't think
Doesn't always
it's pathological
succeed.
in his. It's
I
not
think
pathological.
It's warranted.
Something can be warranted and pathological at the same time.
Okay.
He's just like, you could see the lightning storm forming, and he's like, "Oh no, here we go again."
I'm not going outside.
Man, we've gone on so many tangents this episode.
God, I
Yes.
can imagine that guy's house.
He
To bring
started
it
to
back.
carry around water for when his hair got caught on fire.
I feel like the book is a book of tangents in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
A bit.
It's a book of free radicals and the corrective measures to contain them.
Panda really wants to bring it back.
I really enjoyed, because part of what I really enjoyed about this is chaos and bringing order to chaos. And, it's like wrangling it in. So that's one of my favorite kinds of stories to read.
That's actually interesting because Miles struck me as an agent of chaos, yet he is the one bringing order.
Yeah.
He creates the chaos and then brings order to it.
You
Right.
don't need to create chaos in war. It's always going to be there.
Well,
But Miles still creates it.
I mean, yeah.
He ended it.
Yes. Which is what I'm saying, You got the chaos, you bring it in, and it happens multiple times, and he learns, he gets better, and it's such a satisfying payoff at the end. But also, I know I said this in our Discord chats, I did get a lot of Star Wars vibes, like Star Wars adventure vibes, if it was like a Han Solo kind of adventure. That was fun.
Probably better than the movie, though.
I mean, they've got blasters and stunners. Come on. It's very Star Wars.
Well, I meant the book is better than the Han Solo movie, which was good.
Oh, well, I wasn't specifically thinking about Solo. The
I
movie,
agree.
but
I
yes.
Well,
agree.
have you ever read the Han Solo trilogy?
No.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Is that
I've
the
never read any of
Corellian?
the books.
No,
that's not the Corellian
Oh,
trilogy.
okay.
It's Han Solo's backstory
Ooh,
when he was an Imperial fighter pilot.
But it's not necessary to read it for the Corellian Crisis because it's not really brought up.
No.
Oh, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I still
No,
want to read
it's its
it.
own isolated, fun story all on its
Yeah.
own.
But larger Star Wars expanded universe does not necessarily really treat it as canon. Exactly.
Oh, whatever. What is canon these days?
Well, Disney decanonized half the
Way
good books
before the
anyways.
Disney decanonization. But
Oh,
Warriors
Lord. How are we
Apprentice.
even talking about this right now?
Warriors
this time it was my
Apprentice.
fault.
So, Lady Sweetman is actually talking about the, as she calls it, the pattern of accidental success and setback.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought that it was good for the pacing and reading experience?
I liked it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it provided an enjoyable level of suspense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think it did a good job showing what we can expect from Miles' reactions to success and failure. And success and failure, he will always try and maintain that forward momentum. But if he's confronted with something devastatingly failure focused, he just shuts down.
Yeah, not very Kipling of him.
He goes catatonic and needs to be kicked out of gear by something else.
Mm-hmm.
Much like him on a physical fitness test. He'll run or he'll walk, was it 200 kilometers through limping and pain?
Mm-hmm.
But then he'll just jump off a
wall.
climbing wall and then break his legs and stop.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, this is a first. Well, I was going to say this was his first major death, but that's not true because his grandfather dies first.
Yes.
And
But that is
I
very
think
different.
it's probably a lot closer.
Yeah, his grandfather was also expected.
right. But
He still blames
Bathari,
himself for it.
well,
Yeah.
that's true too.
Mhm.
But Bathari is like, he saw that Bathari let himself get killed,
Mhm.
and him realizing like Bathari's past and putting the pieces together. And I just think that the way that Miles treats him, even after finding out all of this stuff, was very well done and respectful.
Mhm.
And the ending, Miles keeping his word to bring Bathari back to Barrayar and bury him on Barrayar soil. That scene got me quite emotional.
Mhm.
It was very,
It
very well
actually,
done.
I don't know if I misheard this, but he was buried, like at the feet of where
Cordelia.
Yeah,
Cordelia would be
Cordelia.
buried,
And Errol.
Mhm.
Yep.
and
Mhm.
Errol, and it struck me as very Viking,
Oh yeah.
buried with a dog at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a derogatory sense, but
Right.
in a very real sense, he was their dog.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know why, I just got the image of the Viking funeral, and that was his place.
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted that closeness
Mhm.
to the people he that really cared about him and he respected.
I mean, it wasn't just cared about him. Those were his mental sanity buffers.
Yeah, they were his anchors.
Yeah.
His lighthouses.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he was doing the right thing because Cordelia and then Miles said he was doing the right thing.
Right.
Though Miles didn't know what he was doing.
There's a similar character dynamic in The Expanse between two characters.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
there
much
is.
so.
But
Yeah.
I think that one of the great tragedies of this book is that Miles did not know enough to forbid Bathari to torture that pilot.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
at least not enough to correctly manage it.
I mean, that was kind of a trolley problem,
Mhm.
Like,
But I don't think he really understood, one,
Yeah.
what Balthari was going to do, and two,
No,
what the
he
effects
absolutely
were gonna
did not
be.
know what he was authorizing.
No.
I think that's the biggest thing is he didn't realize. But even then,
And he didn't
The
know that
trolley-
it was going to end in death.
yeah, the
Right.
trolley problem also isn't torture somebody to save other
Well, it
people
can be.
in war. But it's
I mean,
it's a very different problem, morally speaking.
is it though?
Yeah, because it's
is.
built on guaranteed outcomes.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Well, he said he guaranteed the outcome of breaking a pilot. He said you can always break a pilot.
Yes, but does that correspond into the guaranteed situation of them keeping their lives
Stroking
in
out.
this system?
I mean, it was a better
Miles
chance than they had without
Better
it.
chance,
No,
yeah, but
It guarantees them getting the information they need.
But it doesn't guarantee the pilot stroking out. Like, he didn't know that was going to happen.
There's a reason there's laws of war that forbid torture, right? Like, because you could always make that argument is as a prisoner, you can torture your prisoner to gain information to protect your
Right.
soldiers.
and it usually
then-
doesn't work.
I'm not going to do a laws of war discussion because
But
I find them inherently
my point
hypocritical.
is just saying that it's not equivalent to the trolley problem. It's just what I'm going for.
Yes, same.
I think it's more that he saw his choice as being like, okay, force, like hurting one person
Mhm.
for the potentiality of saving all these other people.
I think that's very good.
Yeah.
Framing it that way, yeah.
That's what I
and
meant.
Yeah, and he didn't realize what Bathari
Trolley
was going to
problem
do.
almost, or the classic iterations of the trolley problem don't involve self-sacrifice, though. You are a bystander. You're not.
Yeah,
in...
but he
You're not in one of the trolleys. And in this case, he very much was.
Okay, fair.
Mhm.
But I think it was a very
that would be an
important-
interesting trolley problem. You're
You're
tied to
in
the
the trolley.
tracks and can control the switch.
Some of them say that, like, oh, you're on a bridge over the middle point and you can jump off and run, like, have the trolley crush you and then stop.
Sure.
So some of the iterations say things like that. But generally speaking, you are evaluating a more where you will remain alive at the end, no matter how you choose.
Mhm.
Fair. Got it. I do think that it was a very informative experience. It was a learning moment for him, and it was a good posit to the reader to consider, like, the humanity challenge that they're dealing with. And like with Bathari, he's a very useful person and resource, and the responsibility of how you put him to use is non-trivial, and that's what Miles was learning.
Well, and also the fact that every time he's making a decision, he knows that he's putting his people in danger, and some people will in fact die. Like, that's another aspect of this. And I just read another series, and that plays big at the end of the series. Like, sometimes if you're a general, if you're the admiral, you know some people are going to die, and you have to pull the trigger, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
And they talk about that final boarding action of Elena's and how the casualties were so high that anyone who'd actually been in combat would have retreated.
Right.
And only because she had no expectations for what heavy casualties meant, she continued to carry on and won the day.
And you do see that in traditional warfare, where a single soldier will manage to even rally a retreat or a rout or whatever.
Right.
And, the troops will overcome the panic or the casualties and win half the time.
Yeah. Well, there was also the scene where it was Miles and Elena, like, watching Ellie Quinn, the lady whose face got blown off, right?
Yep.
Miles and Elena were like, you don't have to be here for this. You don't have to watch. And he's like, well, she got her on my watch. So, like, it's my responsibility. I'm not going to look away. I mean, he eventually did look away.
Can we actually, speaking of Elena, can we actually focus on her? Because I find her, in retrospect, her evolution as a character to be one of the most interesting and dramatic. She went from a very sheltered girl in a very certain worldview. Like, she objects to certain things about the way she was brought up and her world's moral compass and the way it treats women and stuff. But when she gets to what's it called again? The other planet?
Beta
Colony?
Beta Colony. When she gets to Beta Colony, it's just like one shock after another of, these people are wrong. These people are not quite evil, but definitely sinful and misinformed. And, all of her, it's like, no, but the battle went this way. And so was a hero. How dare they say such things? And how dare this random guy touch me or insinuate or, proposition me in such a way. And, all of these, anyone who has experienced severe culture shock or has, I think one of my most severe culture shocks was the government approved English version of Chinese news that you get in China versus what the US was saying. I mean, talk about night and day perspectives, And this was back before, I think China's gotten a lot better since then. But in the late 90s, they were just really getting going with this. And go ahead.
Her response to the Baton documentary or docudrama, The Thin Blue Line, makes me wonder, and I kind of want to tie this into my personal question for the pod. It makes me wonder how much she actually knew about Prince Serg and Vorutier, given how Cordelia and Errol had talked about them or not talked about them, how much latent knowledge she had of their failings, of the propaganda, and just didn't want to confront that knowledge, didn't want to have to think those potentially treasonous thoughts.
I think that's true of Miles, but I got the impression that Elena just took everything she'd been taught about Barryaran history as fact.
I would say it's just everything adding up over the course of the novel. Like, I wouldn't say she had any doubts beforehand, and then everything that those first documentaries, then what happened to the pilot when Berthar tortured him, and then all that, and then her mother confronting Berthar. It was just the final nail in the coffin. So it's just kind of built over the course of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say that I don't think that Elena had latent knowledge. I'm agreeing with Rabbit here. With Miles, I think that there was much more like he knew there was something up with his bodyguard. And especially when you have the scene where he's torturing the pilot, and that's why he didn't question the story. I don't think Elena did, because I think she was truly shocked.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see Miles intentionally start asking questions he refuses to even bring up to Elena.
Mm-hmm.
Or even think about himself as they start investigating Elena's mother. And he's like, he almost thinks the thoughts and then doesn't.
Well, and also he's the one who was like looking up the information, and so he got a lot more than Elena.
Right, and he intentionally withheld stuff from Elena.
Right.
He read some stuff fast enough that he could move on to the next screen before she could even read it.
Right.
The fact that she was an orphan or bastard, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she didn't think she was, because
correct.
Her dad had convinced her.
She had no clue, and he didn't tell her.
I think that's also plays into her not wanting to go back to Barryar because of how that status is perceived.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a personal thing. Like, that's her identity, whereas Miles is an observer. So it makes more sense that Elena is, whether you want to say she chose not to, but I think it's just like she just didn't know.
Yeah, and she just wants to walk away from the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And she even says, like, I'm not going to be the lamb for my dad's misdoings or something like that.
It's also just when a person's worldview is all completely centered around a certain framing, shall we say, and then that framing is dramatically and irrevocably shifted, that's a severe shock to the system. And, it requires a massive amount of patience, time, and whatever to put yourself back together again. I heard someone describe it as it's as dramatic as the transition from childhood to adulthood, where your parents shift from being the all-knowing, ever-present force in your life to these people are idiots and don't know any more than I do.
And then, yeah.
I'm going to push back on this just a little bit, because I think that there's no way that you grow up in a house with Cordelia and Errol and don't know how they don't want to talk about Prince Zerg.
But she didn't grow up. She would visit like on
she spent
certain
summers.
days.
But
no, but they spent summers together. And Cordelia was like a mother to her.
I get.
But why in the world would they talk about these dead admirals from a battle that was over before she was born?
Because if they had actually been heroes and positive people, they would have.
Oh, not really, because both Errol and Cordelia kind of just like shut down about talking about
and
war
officially Cordelia never met them.
They don't shut down about talking about Gregor, though.
I mean, but Gregor's also
the Emperor?
A fellow playmate.
Yeah.
Well, he was the Emperor.
They don't talk to him about it either, do they?
Yeah, and Zerg was his dad.
They explicitly don't talk to Gregor about it either.
Yeah, but they don't talk.
And I'm saying that in a little bit of latent knowledge in Elena growing up, she knew that there was a little bit of silence around this, and she never knew why, and she didn't want to investigate further. She knew better than to ask the questions, which would dismantle the fantasy.
She had no reason to think it involved her dad at all.
Yeah. I'll accept that as a possibility, but I just don't see it as a likelihood.
I think you're projecting too much onto her.
I don't think I am, but okay.
You're allowed to be wrong, Kyptan. We'll let you.
I think latent knowledge is a much more common phenomenon than people like to imagine. And so I asked all of you today to think of a piece of latent knowledge in your life
I don't have an answer for you.
If it's latent, then I'm unaware of it by definition.
I have an answer.
Yeah, you can do some examination work to unlatent it.
I have one, but it's so personal. I feel a little weird.
You don't have
about
to
it.
share it.
You do not have to share a personal one. Do you want an example?
It's the only one I
that
have.
But you
But
don't
what-
have to like have an answer. That's
to
what I'm
make
saying.
it non-personal?
Well, what I'm saying is it has to do with something around my divorce that I was pretty sure was there, and I didn't know it was there, and it was confirmed like 3 years ago that I was right. I feel like I've been vague enough. Something around my divorce is a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And I'm not specifying what the thing was. So, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did.
Fair.
Yeah, I think the only thing latent that I could talk about was I grew up essentially evangelical, and I think I always suspected that God didn't care if I live or died, and I finally was like, "Yep, no, he doesn't."
Oh.
But
Oh,
that's a
hard
separate
disagree.
issue.
Hard
I
disagree,
know,
Steve.
Red.
Okay. I like that. Really stressing the limits of knowledge here.
I actually feel envy for those who have that comfort.
Oh.
My example was knowing that someone was going to die, and then they did. But
That's
not
fair.
beforehand, not really wanting at all to acknowledge that possibility was likely.
And we're not talking in a psychic sense. We're just saying you knew they were sick and dying, but you didn't want to admit it to yourself.
I can read a medical chart better than the average person, I want to say.
Okay.
And the signs were there.
Okay,
Mhm.
so this is not like a suicide thing.
No.
Okay.
This was an old person who was probably going to die, and then they did. But I didn't want to believe that was going to happen.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very understandable.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I guess one I would have is when I was a kid, it took me a long time to realize that the people that I played soccer with were all kind of just.
Yeah, no, that's
I
real.
mean, nothing
That's
against
real.
people who play soccer, but
Well, this is generally a thing in a lot of competitive sports.
Kind of my
where
point.
where the top athletes, the people who start going really far, are
Mhm.
just not friendly people,
Mhm.
especially in the context of their sport.
And they want to stamp on people who are coming up.
I think that's a trait of highly successful people, regardless of the field.
Mhm.
It's almost like there's some kind of chart you can draw that correlates successfulness with assness, and they kind of go together. One person said it's because the more successful you are, the less people around you want to tell you no.
Mm.
Yep.
And so you begin to think that everybody thinks my jokes are funny. Everybody thinks, they actually start believing all the flattery people tell them.
And it's not just that people won't tell you no, they solicit you for a favor.
Yes. hmm And they flatter you to get it. And they,
Mhm.
Yeah, I see that.
This has made me think of another piece of knowledge that I gained in my teens, and it was
Go for
that the popular crowd was never going to like me as long as I was gay in my school.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I could hide that, and I could do all sorts of shit to try and fit in. Sorry, language.
We have languaged it all over this last part, just so you know.
But I could either accept that I was gay, or I could be popular, and they were exclusive things.
Mm.
The I don't know about the gay part necessarily, but I will tell you being straight is not a guarantee of popularity.
That's true too.
Sure. But I was managing the popularity. It was happening. It was a current state. It was a state that existed.
Yeah.
But I was gonna have to get a girlfriend.
Mm.
Oh wow. Yeah, I had a
And
weirdness
I'd
of
like
two
started
worlds
that.
because I was homeschooled, and then when I was in social environments, I had apparently developed a lot of mannerisms that were very effeminate,
Mm.
and I was also a nerd that liked talking about Star Trek nonstop. And so, yeah, I got it from both angles.
Oh,
This
I-
is
guys.
turned into Confessions of the Green Team.
I want to give you all a hug.
Well, I had to learn to stop moving my wrists so much when I talked, and
Oh, I see.
You could have just
when I
moved to
leaned
Italy.
over. What's that?
You could have just moved to Italy.
Oh yeah, just pick up your life and go to Italy.
Just because my hand just
when you're being homeschooled and you're 14.
And when
Yeah.
you drink tea, don't try to hold the teacup like you're a woman in an Agatha Christie movie.
Oh,
I always
I
did
don't
that because I
know.
thought it looked so elegant, and I think it was my wife who finally told me, "Don't do that again."
oh.
Why not? You can do that.
Ah,
You think gay stigma is bad in the U.S.? You've never been in Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. I've never been to Mexico.
I learned some very
I
interesting.
actually think it's worse in Italy than it is in the U.S. as well. They
Interesting.
just
I
have,
have no
they just
idea.
have
Never been to
very
Italy.
different standards.
Yeah,
So back to this book.
yeah. I had people tell me to my face that I only got married in order to hide in the closet better.
Boo.
Ooh.
So yeah.
That's
Ooh.
not nice.
Pit. I hope they always run into stoplights, red lights, and their bed is always too cold,
The wall was too warm.
or that.
Both at the same time. Warm pillow, cold bed.
Whoever they
What
are.
is even happening right now?
I have no idea, but we are so
Marinara
far
sauce
off
never
track.
clings to their pasta.
We're
Please
throwing
cut
up
half of this
X's
out.
now. I love this book. I'm excited for the next one.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
next one's gonna be completely different. We're doing Ethan of Athos. So
We're doing the gay one next.
Yeah, it's relevant
We're
also for
doing the gay
conversations
book.
about gayness.
Did anybody read the genealogy at the end? Did
No.
your copy
No.
have it?
No.
Me neither.
Audiobook didn't have it for me.
Yeah.
I don't care who's inheriting from who.
Did the audiobook have the epilogue?
Yes.
Of the military
yeah.
academy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was
yes.
such a nice way to end the story, and how, like, after him and Kostelitz get
Mhm.
out of the shuttle, the instructor that's waiting, he was just like ready to give them the yellow armband
Yes,
for
right.
death,
Yeah.
and the instructor that comes out is like, nope.
Nope.
Nope. They're like, oh, I gotta watch this one.
And I love it when whoever it is, the crewmate who had been dissing on him for being Vor,
Yeah.
and
Right.
he's like,
Kostelitz.
"How did you?
Kostelitz.
You knew? Someone told you?" And he's like, "No one told me anything. I just noticed he had 3 respirators in his pocket, and I thought that was suspicious."
I just pay attention.
And then Kostelitz was like, you didn't lose your pen light, did you? He goes, nope.
Nope.
And then the officer said, take him to the knife shop.
Yes, and he actually like uses his charm to make him
Once
feel better.
again, winning
Genius
somebody
for
over,
personnel.
bringing out the best.
Yes.
Also, once again, showing that he's an awful subordinate, but a great leader.
Yes. Yes.
True.
Even his grandmother, Naismith, which, by the way, I did not expect to see her again. I thought like Cordelia and her would have been estranged. So I guess good on them for being able to.
This is a common trait in
They all expect
epic
living to be
sci-fi.
120. You can't just throw away your family members over a tiff.
Well, also, like, remember in Shards of Honor, the government lied to Grandma Naismith
Yes.
about a lot. So, like, once like Cordelia's side actually got out and they talked, I feel like that's what repaired the bridges.
I was going to say,
That's
I feel
great.
like they were patched up
Yeah.
by the end. Somewhere in the whole Shards of Honor barrier thing, they'd already patched things up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about it then. And when she knows like Miles has this tendency to bring
Yeah.
home strays, and she's like,
Yeah.
"This is another one of your strays."
Oh,
Yeah,
that scene where they're tying him up and putting that dude in
money.
the closet.
Yeah.
And they're shoving money at him.
I feel like this is backwards.
Ivan's like, this seems backwards.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Plus interest, 10%.
It's amazing how quickly he went from "I don't want your stinking money" to plus interest.
Yes. Yes.
Because you realize you could be rid of them.
I really love how, as he was like counting out the money and stuff, and Ivan's like, "You made a profit."
You're the first 4 in 5 years or 50 years. I don't know.
And then he gives the rest to Ellie for her combat bonus.
Mhm.
That was
Well,
great.
she freaking captured the dude blind and
Yeah.
badass.
She did a good
lady.
job. She is a badass lady, and who's going to come up in the next book?
True.
We get
What?
Quinn back.
She's
You know
going to
who's
be
coming
Anita
up in the next book?
Navassos.
Ellie Quinn.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
do
is she
not
the woman that's on this
Ellie Quinn.
planet of men?
No,
Not
most of the
quite.
book
No,
does
no,
not
no, no.
take place on Planet of Men.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It
doesn't
takes
take place on the
on a
main
space
planet.
station near Planet of Men.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Planet of Men has run out of uterine tissue, and so they need to go buy some more.
Oh dear.
Sorry,
good
ovarian
Lord.
tissue.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'm not kidding you. I know I've read it. I do not remember anything.
This is
about
so
it.
reminding me of a TNG episode.
So they go to pick up their ovarian tissue at a nearby space station where it has gone astray, and that's what our protagonist's mission is. And he runs into Ellie Quinn, who
And
has a different purpose for being on that space station.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
But yeah, I am excited. I am excited to read it.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Personally, I don't think it's the worst Vorkosigan book, but it is in contention for it.
Okay.
If you include Falling Free, I don't think it's the worst.
I do.
I like
include Falling Free because that's
it's a good book. It just doesn't feel part of the community of books. It's like this weird prequel thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to it eventually.
we will.
I don't remember. I honestly do not remember anything about this book. So I'm excited. It's going to be like the first time.
It has a lot of twinks, so I'm excited.
Oh boy.
Okay. This has been the Legendarium Green Team. Thank you, Horizon Brave, for getting us all started. Thank you, Craig, for loaning us this corner of your media empire. Thank you to the Jingle Punks for their intro and outro music, Galactic Damages. And thank you to my wonderful panelists for putting up with this discussion.
I loved talking about this book.
Oh, yeah. And what percentage of this episode did we spend talking about the book? 80%, maybe?
I spent most of my talking time talking about this
90%?
book. Okay.
Enough.
yeah, I was going to say,
Enough.
good luck with the editing.
Right?
I feel
Bye,
like
everybody.
Tracks.
We will see you next
Lord.
time.
just on the record, our
Bye.
recording is 100 minutes. Let's see what it's down to in edit.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Good luck.
I think I'm hosting next time.